Welcome to the Knuckle Sammich podcast with Thomas R. Shackelford, a Sauce on the Side production.
Well, hello there, Dippers, and welcome back to episode 41 of the Knuckle Sammich podcast, the official MMA podcast of Sauce on the Side. As always, Dippers, I'm your host, Drake, joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Thomas R. Shackelford.
Welcome back.
And our guest host for the show, our producer, the man who does not know anything about fighting, but he guest hosts an MMA podcast. That is Mr. Leighton Pip Shaventone.
Last week I gave Thomas a pretty hard time. We all did, because he was a little thief last week. We gave him. He said he watched, but really he passed down to all of his buddies like an old 1990 porn VHS.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to tell you this week,
Allegedly.
Memento has been returned to my possession.
Wasn't sealed shut, was it?
It would not still shut.
Good deal.
No,
Good
I'm
deal.
very happy I could open it without any sticky stuff or glue-like substances stretching apart.
So what did you think about Memento? Was it better than the Cardi B video?
Yes.
Was it
Wait,
any
wait,
dog walking involved?
Wait, with the card baby with chicken and ass for like 3.5 straight
Wait,
minutes?
yeah.
No, you didn't see the political speech that she had?
Oh, well, I saw that. You didn't see the video of her shaking her ass for 3.5 straight minutes with Iggy Azalea?
That's another video?
Iggy was in it, but
I think that's who she's featured with. Yeah, Jake, tonight we gained a coverage going on iPad. Pop that on.
I'll check it out. Huh. I didn't know that. Well, I knew that she used to be a stripper.
Oh yeah. Oh, you can find videos of her dancing too, naked.
Oh, I'm on it.
Huh?
All you gotta do, all you gotta do is Google Cardi B stripping, and you find videos of her dancing naked.
Wow, I did not know that.
Dude, it's 2018. Just yeah. We can find videos of Thomas dancing naked.
Hold on. My face was not in those videos.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, but never mind.
What'd you think of Memento?
It was good.
Was it good?
You know, we talked about it last week. One thing that I thought, though, did you get the feeling that the main character, they actually wanted Brad Pitt to play it? I felt
He's like a poor man's Brad Pitt.
That was the whole time. I liked the movie, and we did go over that last week, but I just can't get that out of my head. That dude was a poor man's Brad Pitt.
Well, at the time, Christopher Nolan's like first or second movie ever, definitely could not afford Brad Pitt.
Time out.
God.
Christopher Nolan couldn't afford Brad Pitt, but that Shyamalan guy could get fucking Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis in the same film.
But hold on, Samuel's got like 4,000 movies to his credit, so he's not the same as a Brad Pitt.
And M. Night Shyamalan just came off The Shining.
Time out.
Shining, that
Time
makes
out.
sense.
You think Samuel L. Jackson is not as good as Brad Pitt?
It's a different career. It's a different career. He's just as notable, probably, but it's almost
More
like,
notable.
It's
He is more notable.
maybe.
Way
it's
more
almost
notable.
like Danny Trejo. Also, everybody knows Danny Trejo, but
Who's
he's
that?
got like 10,000. He's the mean Mexican in every movie.
Everything.
Oh, okay. I mean, he played Machete.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there's some guys that have a career of they say yes to absolutely everything, and then you
Yeah.
have guys like DiCaprio or Pitt or he did The Incredible Hulk. He's in Fight Club. It's
Edward Norton?
Bruce
Banner. Edward Norton. Yeah. Those guys' careers, they're more nitpicky. They're just as famous. I mean, like, it's just a different way to do it, you know. I would, if I was an actor, I'd probably be more on the Samuel L.
Hell
Trejo,
yeah.
just like saying yes to absolutely everything. I'll play anything you want me to play. You know, if you want me to be the mean, chubby, fat, curly-headed guy, like, I'll be him in 1,000 movies. Because that's really how Trejo really got known for.
Yeah. What?
He actually started, I believe, in Raging Bull. They brought him in. He was like a champion boxer in prison, and they brought him in to help Robert De Niro learn to box and stuff in Raging Bull. And I think they ended up bringing him in to do be an opponent at some point in the movie. They needed a mean-looking guy. I might be mistaken on the movie, but I don't think I am.
See, I would rather have a career path like Danny McBride, where like you play the same guy in every movie,
He's
and people.
excellent.
And it never
Yes.
gets old.
I want
Yes.
to meet Danny McBride out of character. I want to see what he's like.
It's Kenny Powers,
Nah.
because Kenny Powers is Danny McBride, and Danny McBride is Kenny Powers.
Yeah, when you think
Once you
about
find
it,
your niche, that's what you do.
Yeah.
you got Kenny Powers, you got Land of the Lost with the Rock, or not the Rock, with Will Ferrell.
Dude, he was Kenny Powers in that Apocalypse movie where he had somebody on a leash.
This is the end.
Yes.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder, he's that guy.
Yeah, he's the same
made
guy.
A career. He's definitely.
He's Kenny Powers and Kenny Powers.
Kenny Powers, starring Kenny Powers. He should literally name Kenny Powers.
No, I agree. I think that'd probably be a good career move.
That'd probably be the best thing he could do at this point in his career.
Interesting. All right. So, guys, today we will be breaking down the card that we had last weekend. Was it UFC 233? 232. I can't remember. I had it pulled up.
I think it was 232, and they're skipping 33 and
That's
going to
right.
34. Something
It is
like that.
It is 232.
Or
I
maybe
think.
33, and they're skipping 34 and going to 35.
Yes, that's it. Okay. Well, actually, last week it was just the ESPN Plus. That's what it was.
Oh, they didn't even.
Yeah, they didn't have a UFC number. It was just the ESPN Plus. That's what it was. So Thomas, congratulations, 4-1. Pretty good odds. The only fight you lost was the Dillashaw, the Cejudo Dillashaw fight. What were your thoughts on that? You'd pick Dillashaw. You said he was a better fighter. But whenever we kind of talked it out, reasoned through it, we were like, yeah, if Dillashaw can survive for the first round and look good, he's going to win the fight. But we were worried that he could get starched in the first because of the weight cut. Do you put this more on a weight cut, or do you put it on that Cejudo's just a better fighter?
No, I don't think it was the weight cut. It went, and that was one thing we talked about. Dillashaw takes punches. He got rocked in both his last two fights. You could say in the previous two he didn't. But then when you go back to even Renan Barão, I mean, he got into a firefight with him and got stung several times. So when you're looking at a dude's career and over the last 3 to 4 years, he's had 8 fights, and 6 out of the 8 fights, he's gotten hit a lot. And then it's just gotten progressively like those drops. That was one of the things we were worried about, was him getting starched early. I don't think it's the weight cut. I think Cejudo, I watched the fight over, Cejudo hit him right off the bat with a kick, which, again, those guys move so fast, it didn't necessarily look like it was a hard kick. He caught him with the toes, but he hit him with a kick right to the chin. Then he hit him with a straight left, and then they got in that little, almost a clinch, and Cejudo just kind of pushed him, and Dillashaw fell down. You're hurt. You're hurt whenever you fall down off just not even a strong push. And I think when Cejudo saw that, he just jumped on him. And then that's when he ended up hitting the combo that rocked him. And then I was fine with the stoppage.
Absolutely.
When I looked at the night of the fights, you look at Yancy Medeiros, who lost to Gillespie. He was in way better faculties than what Dillashaw was, and nobody complained about that. Then you look at who was the other one, Alexander Hernandez. Cowboy rocked him, was beating him up on the ground. Again, he was in a way better position and faculties than Dillashaw was, and nobody said a word about that. I think maybe just the way Dillashaw got up and threw that big old fit, and then just kind of Cejudo's kind of like this cheesy type dude. And then, of course, Dana, after the fact, saying that it was a bad stoppage and leave the ring. He didn't even stick around in the ring to congratulate him. He got in there, congratulated him.
Well, he has to be pissed
gave
off.
him the belt, and he took off. I had no problem with the stoppage. Think about it like this. It was a 30-second fight. He got dropped 3 times. And every time he got hit, his head bobbled around like a basketball. And his argument was, well, I was fighting for a single leg. Do you think a guy who's half conscious, was an average to below average college wrestler, is going to take down an Olympic gold medalist while he's half knocked out, still getting smashed in the face? They could have let it go on forever, and it wouldn't have changed. He was going to get his head dribbled like a basketball.
Yes. Whenever you look at a stoppage, you got to think like 2 things. A, is the guy defending himself? I mean, you can make the argument. And B, is it getting any better? It's never going to get any better.
No, he got knocked down like 12 seconds in, so that means the other, 18 seconds was him trying to get a single leg and still getting dropped.
Yeah, it was a 32-second fight, and Cejudo landed 18 18 shots. and all of them were significant strikes. So I don't see how you can be upset. Dillashaw landed one punch the whole entire fight. Obviously, you want more if you're a fan. But me, personally, I would rather see them have early stoppages, quote-unquote early stoppages like this, than let the guy get his brains drummed out and we get like 4 less fights in his career because the guy doesn't have a chin worth of shit anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. You got the fights where people get beat half to death and they complain. Then you got this fight where the dude, there's just no chance. There's just no chance he was going to get a single leg and recover while he was getting dropped every third punch. It was a good stoppage.
Yeah, and it's not like there was, a minute left on the clock.
No.
There was still 4 minutes and 30 seconds for him to get his ass whooped over and over. I didn't understand it. I thought it was the correct call. I think the better fighter won.
And I know the thing where they say, well, him being a sore loser and him having that fire is what makes him a great fighter. I do understand that. But at some point, we're talking days later, he's still doing interviews and he's saying, we have to have a rematch. You did not beat me.
Why'd you get knocked down?
No, you got beat.
Yeah.
No one beat you but that dude who clubbed you in the head 18 times. That gets under my skin a little. That makes me dislike someone. When I don't know how you could watch that and say, he got robbed. Well, I don't think you know what you're looking at.
Why did he get knocked down?
Because he got kicked in the face.
Yes, because he was hurt. 125-pound division. I think this is why Dana's mad, because he has to continue to keep guys on the roster. Do you think that this is going to stick around forever, or do you think it's going to go with Cejudo?
We'll know pretty soon, because if they're going to keep the 25-pound division, it'll be him versus Joseph Benavidez. If they're not, it'll be him versus Dillashaw. If they sign up another him versus Dillashaw at 35, then you can just consider 25 done.
That'd be the biggest crock of shit ever.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. We got to give Leighton props because he brought that question up last week. Like, what happens if the little guy beats the big guy in the scenario? This is the first time that's happened. Well, we now know what happened. Dana and those guys were trying to kill off the 25-pounders, and all he did was illegitimize the 135-pounders.
That's
he just
exactly what he
made the
did.
whole 135-pound class look like garbage because the 25-pounder just clobbered the guy that they were saying was the greatest 35-pounder of all time.
Yeah.
In his prime. Not like a past his prime. In his prime.
Yeah, one fight removed after people wanted to say that.
So, Leighton, that answers your question from last week.
So
when the little guy beats the big guy, it completely illegitimizes that division.
So, why is it more of an uproar for Cejudo to be the double champ?
He's kind of... Well, for one, he's not considered the double champ because it wasn't for the belt.
Okay, but it should have been for the belt. The unofficial double champ.
The only thing I can think of is he's kind of corny. Like, he brought a fake... I didn't realize it was fake at first, but somebody throws him this bag up at the stair downs, and he's got this bag and pretending like it's moving and stuff, and then he pulls out this snake, and I'm like, why the hell is he? Because Dillashaw's the snake. I was like, why is he bringing out this live snake? That's creepy as hell. And then he slams the snake on the ground. I'm like, oh, it's a fake snake. So he brought out a fake snake. He's just kind of cheesy. He talks about himself in the third person a lot. He's one of these motivational speaker guys. Are you guys familiar with that Nikki Bella of the Bella Twins, the wrestlers? Oh, yeah. I guess he sat next to one of them on the plane from Arizona to California and ended up kind of hitting on her. Well, then he talked about her on Ariel Helwani's show, and Ariel tagged her in it, and so she made a video and was like, hey, maybe we can get a drink sometime and you can show me some moves that I can use on the girls. So then Dillashaw, just being the cheesy guy he is, he's got this saying, he's like, I'm single, trilingual, and ready to mingle. So he
you mean Cejudo?
Cejudo, yes, I'm sorry. So he's I don't know, you'll have to read it. He made up this little limerick, this little poem, and sent it back at her. I'm like, no, man, you're ruining it. Just be normal. Be normal.
I think that's why I like him.
I like him because
his brother's like his wrestling coach.
Yeah, and he's got a huge pot belly, which makes me like the brother even more.
Yes.
The brother's like getting after it and showing him all these moves. He's got this big old keg of a belly. I'm like, hell yeah, I don't know. He's
different.
He's different for sure. He's still not one of the super trash talking guys. So, they were wanting. There's no doubt. And after Dana gives him the belt in the ring and then just leaves, and like Cejudo's like, "Where's Uncle Dana? I gotta get paid," and he's nowhere. Like they're like, "Oh, he's gone, dude." It just goes to show you what they were doing. They were trying to just vanquish that division, and now they're just sitting there like, well, now people all think that 35-pounders suck ass because 20-pounder just smashed them.
I mean, but if you look at it like guy for guy, I mean, Dillashaw wouldn't have beat Mighty Mouse. Cody Garbrandt wouldn't beat Mighty Mouse. Would Dillashaw beat Benavidez?
Probably not. The way Benavidez' style is, because he's got that insanely huge right hand. If they fought, I would probably pick Benavidez.
I don't understand it because just common logic. If a guy's that small, where are they going to go if they're good? They're going to go down as low as they can because they're going to try to win a belt. So I don't think that there's that big of a difference between 25 and 35s. I really don't.
There's not. I think what people, and this may have happened because of this, but when Dominic Cruz was so dominant before Mighty Mouse dropped down to 25, he really put a beating on Mighty Mouse. But we're talking Cruz in his prime, and he also beat Benavidez too in a closer fight.
He beat Dillashaw too.
He did. So I think a lot of people thought the drubbing that he put on, but that Mighty Mouse that he fought was still working a 9 to 5, 40 hours a week in a factory in Washington.
Wow.
I think after that fight is when his coach was like, hey man, you need to do this full time. And he went off and ran with it. So he wasn't even fighting a full-time Mighty Mouse. So.
Right. Wow.
Pretty crazy. Like I said, if we get a Benavidez Cejudo, which is what I want, I would rather there be 25 and a 35. Then we'll know that the 25ers are sticking around for a bit. If they just say, sorry, Cejudo, you got to fight 35, against Dillashaw, then you just got to consider 25's done for.
That would be a crock of shit. So we'll go ahead and go to the co-main event. Probably my favorite fight of the night. Greg Hardy made himself look like a jackass for probably the 50th time in his life.
Well, do your thing. I'm gonna slightly defend him when you're done. You work him over. I'm gonna give him a little bit of a defense.
Okay, right before Sean goes ahead and defends domestic violence, I'm gonna go ahead and pile on a little bit. MMA has about 4 rules, okay? And I remember 2 guys specifically that I can remember. Let's go 3 rules. MMA has like 3 rules. You can't bite the nutsack, you can't drop 12-6 elbows, and you can't kick a guy when he's down. I know 2 guys have been DQ'd. John Jones can't follow rules worth of shit. He wants to have a hit and run with a woman who is pregnant and then fails every single drug test. Greg Hardy obviously beats the shit out of a woman so bad that she has bruises on her feet, throws her on a pile of guns, like slams her in a bathtub, the whole 9 yards, gets signed by the UFC, gets disqualified in his first fight that's outside of the Contender Series. So those are the 2 guys off the top of my head that I can remember that got DQ'd for something that was just blatantly illegal. Both guys can't follow rules. These are people problems, not rule problems. And Mr. Shackelford, go ahead and defend Greg Hardy.
I didn't know that was an illegal knee either.
I jumped off the couch.
That guy had one knee down, and his foot was up, and no hands down. I thought the rule was you had to have at least 3 points of contact, like 2 feet and a hand.
What happens though if they don't do that? They're just going to knee people right off of shots.
Yeah.
Whenever they're all the way down.
Yes.
I've never seen that.
We've seen people get kneed when they're
shooting, yes, but not whenever they're like knee on the ground, like looking the guy in the eyes.
I heard it explained, Luke Thomas explained it, and he said it doesn't matter what the hands are doing as long as one knee is down.
Yeah.
So you could legitimately just get in like a duck walk position and just duck walk to people and not get. I swear to God, I didn't know. I thought it had to have hands. I thought there had to be hands, and maybe
It just looked illegal. Did you see it?
Dude, I did, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, dude, he just needed the shit out of this dude. This dude's dead." And they're like, "Illegal!" And I was like, "Wait a second, what?"
Did you see the look the ref gave him? The look like the
Mark
ref.
Lauda for sure was like, "I hate this guy." He's like, "He's DQ'd." Like, did the death symbol across his neck.
Yeah, if he was in the NFL, he'd have picked up a 15-yard penalty and been suspended for a week. But we're lucky he was in the cage. You can do the throat slash across there. That is legal.
One thing about Greg Hardy, the dude's a sociopath.
Yes.
I don't know. You can see in his eyes.
There's not something. He beats to a different drummer.
He's not there.
No.
When he's in there, he's not there. I've seen some interviews where he was talking, and he seemed okay, just kind of like a little bit of a weird guy. But then when he gets in there, the dude's not there. The dude's a sociopath. Those things he did, he probably can't say sorry for him because he's probably not, because that's what like a sociopath is. He's scary. He's one of the few guys that I've seen fight that actually would terrify me if I had to like have an encounter with him, because he's got some weird dead behind the eyes look going on.
How good was he on the ground?
I mean, he survived.
He did survive, but dude, it was so bad.
I heard that guy talking, and he was like, "Well, most people don't survive on the ground with me, and his fundamentals were bad, and this and that." But you know as well as I know, if you're a big athletic bastard, you don't need all the fundamentals in the world. Now, eventually, you'll get tired and you'll get wore out, but we didn't really see that. Like, the dude, he did start to slow down. His punches were going slower because that guy started,
His knees weren't.
No, his knees were quick.
Too quick.
That dude he fought did take a bunch of shots. He looked good. He got some takedowns. Hardy, to give him credit, he got up. And then in the second, Hardy's punches were definitely slower because that guy started moving in and out, making a miss, started getting some shots. He was even talking to him, doing a little Nick Diaz to him at some point.
Yeah, did you hear what he said? He called him a woman beater. Yeah.
And this is even more creepy. Hardy didn't fucking blink. He didn't go after him. He just kept about his business, which was surprising. So it was an anticlimactic end. I think Hardy probably... I felt like he probably won the first round just because he was bouncing that dude's head all over the place, even with the takedown. But then in the second, he was clearly kind of getting outstruck. And in the end, he didn't need to be in the main event.
No.
He probably didn't need to be on the first fight of the night. They should have put him on some more regional fights. I don't care how big of an athlete you are or how high you make it to another sport. Throwing you in on the co-main event on such a big card in Brooklyn,
well, they had
on ESPN, like that's a lot to ask. And I'm sorry, the vape is getting me again. Even Greg Hardy said afterwards, like he thought it was a legal knee, and he said, I honestly. And I believe him. I don't have any reason to think the dude lies. Like I said, he probably doesn't say he's sorry about slamming his girlfriend on a bed of guns because he's not sorry for it. That's just him. But he just said that he thought the fight was over. He hit the knee. He said he legitimately thought the fight was over and he had won.
It was over.
When he stood up, they were telling him that he was the one that was disqualified. He realized, like, oh, dang, I did something wrong here. So, yeah, that's going to happen. The dude's trained in fighting for 2 years and has had basically 3 fights, and you throw him in the main event of the biggest card of the year.
Yeah, well, they had to do something quick. They had to put him in one quick because they knew something stupid was going to happen. So you have to strike when the iron's hot.
Well, they did.
They did.
We'll see what happens.
Uncle Dana, those last 2 fights went about as shitty as they could have for him, and that's why, Cejudo doesn't get the belt and get a big hug from Uncle Dana with a check presented in the middle of the ring. He was mad, and he had rights to be mad, but like when you play with shit, don't get mad whenever you realize it's shit. Like, it's Greg Hardy at the end of the day. Don't be sad whenever he disappoints you.
Yeah, that was not good.
Bad look. So we'll kind of just skim through here the last four fights actually. Go over. Teixeira picks up a first round submission of Carl Roberson. PVZ gets back on top, second round submission of Rachel Ostovich. Joseph Benavidez picks up a 3-round decision of Dustin Ortiz, and Gregor Gillespie absolutely destroys Yancy Medeiros in the second round TKO. So of those fights, which fight do you think was the most fun to watch?
You didn't name probably the funnest fight of the night.
Oh, Cowboy.
Yeah.
I forgot Cowboy. I was only reading the main. Okay.
And you said I went 4-1 on my cheat sheets. I picked 6 fights down.
So 5-1.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I was just looking at the main event.
I was 5-1.
I was looking at the main event.
As far as every fight was pretty amazing. I mean, every fight was pretty amazing. Even the prelims. Bermudez had a really fun fight with that T. Edwards and then retired. Bilal Muhammad had a good fight with that Neal dude. It's a tie for my 2 favorite fights would have had to been Benavidez and Dustin Ortiz. And
that was a good
Cowboy and Hernandez.
Yeah.
So another guy to look out for is that Sandhagen dude. I don't know if you saw him, but he tall, lanky guy. I think he trains with Trevor Whitman. He's going to be a tough dude in the future. We got to keep our eye on him. Good. As far as from top to bottom, that may be, aside from the Greg Hardy debacle, even with the 30-second knockout of Dillashaw, to me, this might be the best pay-per-view or best card I've ever seen. Just from a pure fight, like that fight was good. The technique, excitement, crowd getting into it. It was an A+. It had to be an A+.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. I think the last 2 fights are the things that keep it from being like the best fight I've ever watched. Just because, we had that Lawler and Rory McDonald fight followed by Mendez, and that card still holds it in my heart because that one was fun. That was a great night of fights. But this, like you said, was solid top to bottom.
What'd you think of how ESPN? One thing I noticed, and I didn't know this till I went back and watched it. So ESPN Plus had 6 fights on it, and they finished up in 2.5 hours. That's normal UFCs are usually about 9 to midnight, 9 to 11:30, and they only have 5 fights.
Yeah, they need to keep doing that.
So it felt like that. I was like, oh damn, they're already getting them back out there.
Yeah, because I was actually at a hockey game during this, and I was trying to watch the Cowboy fight, and they would throw like one fight, and then like I would check back and I'm like, what the hell? But I wasn't checking the time, I was like, sure, this one's got to be wrapping up, and it would already be on the next fight. So I didn't watch it live. Went back and watched it, but yeah, I thought it was just kind of they were just skimming through stuff at that point.
They went quick. The only thing that kind of pissed me off was I don't have a cable provider. Like I just signed up for the app, and if I have a cable provider, I can watch those ones on ESPN just like I'm watching regular TV, but they won't let me if I don't have that cable provider.
That's crazy.
So to me, they're already going to be getting my $5 a month or whatever. Just give me the free channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be the only thing keeping me from continuing to stay signed up, because if they're going to do that, where they're going to play 4 fights on
time out, are you backing out of this now?
We might. I still got a couple days. I'm trying to get in. I'm getting in all those 30 for 30s while I can. I watched the Marunovich project. I'll be on the Ric Flair one. I watched the Buster Douglas. I'm trying to get all the content in I can before I decide if I'm gonna continue to.
We still have a couple days.
Hey baby, I signed up Saturday morning about 9 a.m. I'm riding this pony until.
Hey, I thought it was good. I went ahead and just went ahead and got it. I thought it was cool. I really liked it.
The only thing, did yours have commercials during the live one? Did you?
I didn't watch it. No.
No. Mine did not.
The live didn't?
No. It would just say, come back to your commercial break or something.
Well, see, mine said that sometimes, but then sometimes it showed commercials.
Yeah. More often than not. Like, whenever I was watching it live, it said that. It said, you'll get back to your commercial break. That was the only thing that
weirded me out. I don't have a cable provider, so
you know what pissed me off more than anything on this?
What?
Stephen A. Smith being on this thing. I'm sitting there,
baby.
What does he know about a fight?
Here's what happened. Isn't he the highest paid guy at ESPN?
Yes.
They're making him work for his shit. They're like, look, man, we're going to pay you all this money for you to be an asshole.
At least be a good one.
You got to jump in here. To his credit, though, when I watch Stephen A. critique basketball, and I can't even hardly watch this shit, but when they're critiquing basketball players and football players, it almost disgusts me because I know that at no point in Stephen A.'s life could he ever play anything at the requirements that he wants LeBron to play something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just like, oh, he's terrible. He's doing this. He's doing that. And we're like, well, he scored 405 points this game and had 75 assists. You know, he missed one free throw, so he's the worst player of all time. I can't stand analysts like that. You're really just there to be a fan.
Yeah.
Just tell us how good the dude is, end it. But he really wasn't like that with this. Like, he kind of like, you could tell it was kind of scripted. He got a little homework, so he kind of spewed off his little bit of homework, and then if they asked a question that he probably hadn't studied up on, he just was like, oh, DC, you need to ask DC about this. You know what I mean? So it wasn't horrible, but it was definitely
not good.
I would rather him be there than Kellerman, though, because
Kellerman's a different
is
animal.
a dick. And whenever MMA first came out, I'm pretty sure he was one of the biggest, like, these guys are garbage. So I don't care if they ever get Kellerman in there.
No, I would never want Kellerman in there. Kellerman's a dipshit.
I'll take Stephen A., give me Skip Bayless. I would love to listen to
Okay, now we're talking.
I'd love to get me some Skip in there. Shannon Sharp would be hilarious.
Shannon, Skip, and Stephen A. all in there.
A little round table.
They'd be like rabid dogs on like a piece of fresh meat. With poor old Skip.
The best thing is, though, they wouldn't really know what they were talking about.
No.
I think Shannon would be great because when he was talking about the Floyd versus Conor and all that, like, he was obviously going with Floyd because he knew how good Floyd was. But he's like, what's McGregor going back to? That Diaz guy? That dude's insane! Like, he just, like, looks at these guys as insane murderers when legitimately Shannon Sharp probably beats up 90% of the world's population just because he's so athletic. But I love listening to him.
Skip would think he could take one of these guys.
Oh, for sure.
Skip would think that he could legitimately compete.
Hey, what's that meme where Skip's like shirtless and
lifting weights?
He's pretty fit.
Yeah,
he's pretty fit.
He is. Yeah. So on this last card, biggest winner, biggest loser, go.
Loser's got to be Dana White.
Yes, absolutely.
No, Greg Hardy, man. I don't know that I'm sure they'll give him another fight, but that pretty much sums up about the best we'll ever see from him. Even you look at like Rachel, the Ostovich, she did lose to Paige Van Zandt, but really the biggest battle was her just getting in there. I'm going to go Dana White, Greg Hardy, and Dillashaw. Three biggest losers tied.
Hey, wait, let's just not do Dillashaw. Let's do the 135-pound class.
The entire class is just sitting back like, you son of a bitch.
Yes.
Get one job. Just get knocked the fuck out.
Don't get killed by the guy 10 pounds less than us.
Yes. Biggest winner.
I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Cowboy.
Yeah, I think even Cejudo in the 125-pound class, definite winners.
Yeah.
Cowboy, definite winner. Maybe the biggest one.
If you're looking at it two different ways, you're looking for the sport, you got to go Cejudo.
Yes.
If you're looking for
monetary
somebody
gain,
getting that money,
yes,
it's Cowboy.
Yes.
Because we know what's next now.
Yes, and that'll actually bring us up to the next thing. Conor Cowboy, after the fight, Cowboy had said that he was wanting to fight somebody in the top 5. Conor McGregor ends up tweeting to Cowboy, "Congratulations, Donald. I will fight. Good fight. I will fight you now." What do you think?
There's no fight that I've ever loved more than that.
I agree.
mean, these are two of my favorite all-time fighters.
Yes.
Mostly stand-up guys, although I don't see Cowboy trying to take him down.
Hell no.
I think when you're getting in a fight like that, when he knows that it's going to be a big payday, I can't see him doing a lot of takedowns. And he may not need to. He's got those killer leg kicks, and McGregor's shown a little bit of a weakness to those. God, I don't know if I've ever wanted to see a fight more than
No. Well, I don't know. Tito and Chuck, 3.
No, get out of here.
Sign me up.
Get out of here.
What about Tito?
Bet now. Bet now. Chuck's going to get him on the next one.
Yes, bet now.
You bastard.
No, I agree. I think this is going to be...
He tweeted at him again today, and it said something like,
It's going to be awesome.
"Hey, Notorious, I'll drink some
Proper 12
with you at the
press conference.
and I'll bring some Bud Lights too." And McGregor,
But no, Bud Light.
or Budweiser. I'm sorry,
Budweiser.
you don't drink no light beer.
There we go.
And he tweeted back something to the effect of "sounds like a great time" or something. So
These guys are going to have fun with that.
it's gonna be the build up. I don't know. Cowboy looked like a pimp bastard, but in the build up, he had this long leather trench coat, dressed in all.
Did he get it with a
black.
buffalo head for free?
Oh no! He wasn't wearing that one. He was wearing long black, all black. It was like he
an
was
outlaw
riding into a funeral, and Hernandez is calling him a scared little kid with a pop gun. He was going to send him hee-hawing back, and then he gets fucked up.
He got destroyed.
Dude, Cowboy looked scary in that one.
Yeah.
I cannot. We talked a little bit before the meeting for Khabib and Conor. I think are this Tuesday or something. God, I hope they don't do shit to either one of them.
No, I agree.
Forget it. We're past it. They paid some money. Let's just get Cowboy in there. Let's just get Cowboy in there.
Yes, I agree. I mean, if as far as fights, it makes sense. For Conor to fight Dustin Poirier makes absolutely no sense. I was talking to Leighton before this. Leighton didn't know who Dustin Poirier is.
I still don't.
Leighton didn't know who Tony Ferguson was. He still doesn't. And knows who Cowboy is. Everybody knows who Cowboy is. Everybody will stop and watch Cowboy fight. Everybody will stop and watch McGregor fight. That would sell. I think that sells more than Khabib and Conor.
I think so too. I think it should go like this: Khabib versus Ferguson. I don't know how you do anything different because Ferguson is still the interim champ to everybody. Then Conor and Cowboy fight. Winner fights each other. To me, Poirier. Remember, he was lined up to fight Nick Diaz, and he pulled out for an injury. So to me, how can you pull out for an injury and then in your next fight get put in against for the belt?
Yes.
You're still one fight away.
Yeah. You don't get an upgrade because you pulled out.
No, exactly. You don't get an upgrade. And Poirier's got a good body of work. I understand that, but Conor knocked him out in a minute.
Yeah.
It's just not a lot of people are gonna buy into that. I'm so much better now than I was then. Well, yeah, but McGregor's a lot better now too, and he's also not cutting all the weight either. So I don't think you should jump up into a title fight coming off of you dropping out. So I would like to see the Khabib versus Ferguson, and maybe Cowboy is skipping some lines here, but
he deserves
he's
it.
Cowboy.
Yes.
He's Cowboy.
He's never done that before.
No,
he's ne's never been fast-tracked. He's always been the guy that's fought way too many times for a title before the title shot.
The guys he's fought. He's fought.
He's fought everybody.
Alexander. These are his last fights. Alexander Hernandez.
Leon Edwards.
What's his name first before him?
Oh, before him was he won that one. Mike Perry. That's
and then
it.
you got Leon Edwards. Then you got Darren Till. He's fighting every young gun at 170 there is. He had Rick Story in there. He had so many big fights. He's earned it.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the name. He's got the resume. He holds every record in the UFC. He's always one fight away from the title.
Yes, I agree.
So,
I agree. So John Jones tests positive. Obviously, they kind of knew he was. Does this change anything?
no, because it was the VADA that had tested him this time. Basically, he tested positive 33 picograms, which is still more than what he tested positive for the first time they
Oh, wow.
booted him for it. And basically, they just said they all still agree and are not changing their opinion, that it's nothing new. They knew it was going to happen. We just move on with our lives like we didn't know it.
Fedor, Ryan Bader. Who wins this weekend?
We're going to go with your pick, Bader. He was your dark horse for that tournament. He's wiped everybody out.
Dude, he is a huge favorite now.
He is.
Because he's fought so good lately. You had to take him at the beginning of the tournament.
Yeah, had you taken him at the beginning of the tournament, he'd be sitting pretty.
He was like the second to lowest odds.
You know, I see him taking Fedor down and wearing him out. Chael took Fedor down pretty easily several times. Fedor now, he will pop back up. He will get up a few times, but Bader's a little bit bigger, and unless. And this is what I said about him in the UFC. Unless you have the instance where he really faltered against John Jones and Anthony Johnson, because they seemed to just scare the shit out of him. Like, he just didn't, it's fight, flight, or freeze. He looked like he froze. And when he fought Rumble, it looked like it was flight. It looked like he would have rather ran away from him. So, barring that mental hiccup that he's had a couple times before happening, I really see him just grinding Fedor out.
Okay, and then we actually had a little interesting news. Leighton C will now tell us, we knew that there was some shit going on between Stephen A and Derek Carr. I really didn't look into it much. I wanted to save it for Leighton C to present it to us on this show. And what do we got?
Okay, so should I just beef it down and read the whole tweets?
Oh, there were tweets between the two?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, you have no idea.
Was it bad?
Oh, it gets real funny at the end.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so Derek Carr tagged UFC and Dana White and says, "Hey, how do I challenge a couple of these clowns on TV to a fight? I think we should start a business together, where pro athletes can challenge some of these people to an octagon fight until they give us an answer. You don't know me. Stop lying."
Who said that? You don't know
Derek
me?
Carr.
Oh.
Derek Carr. Then some guy named Lionel Woods, who's became famous because of this, says that he's talking about at Max Kellerman and replies to Derek Carr. "Yes, this is Derek Carr again. Yes, say what you want, but don't question somebody's character as a man if you don't know them. Our job as NFL athletes is to try and leave the game better for the next generation, so let's start an octagon business to give some accountability to these kind of people." Stephen A. Smith caught wind of this, obviously.
Oh, yes, here we go.
Stephen A. Smith says, "Hey, at Derek Carr QB. ... I heard you had a few things to say. Consider this a personal invitation. You are more than welcome to come on at First Take or sit down with me for a one-on-one.
That's not what he wants. He wants a fight.
I'm here, bro. Nobody hiding." Some guy named not Ezekiel Elliott at A485 said, "Might as well get at Derek Carr and at Max Kellerman / at Stephen A. Smith on the card too." Stephen A. Smith quoted that and said, "Here's the question. Why is he talking about getting me, capitalized me, in the octagon instead of a UFC fighter, at Dana White? What do I have to do with the sorry ass season the at Raiders? All I did was
Who said
observe."
this?
Stephen
A?
Why can't you follow? Listen to the story.
I'm always bad at that because I hear the messages, but I don't hear who they are.
But
Stephen A.
I'll deal with this one at First Take. Yo, at Derek Carr, QB. Wrong, brother. So, that is that. But then, I got curious. Ron Bovada. Motherfucking Bovada has Stephen A. Smith as a minus 130 favorite in the fight.
Derek Carr?
If they have
a professional athlete.
Yes.
Take those bet right now.
Minus
yes,
one.
right now.
Yes.
They have to fight any short of extinction fight in 2019.
Will they fight? Is there odds for that?
I did not see those. I saw Stephen A. Smith fight Derek Carr. I was like, oh my god, yes.
Well, I would love to watch this.
Oh, it's under the entertainment section,
Hey,
by the way. I found it when I looked at the Oscar odds earlier.
Do you guys realize what this just happened? What did you say you wanted last week in the show?
They stole my idea.
They
did.
did. They're listening and they're like,
yanked
wait
it.
a second. Yeah, we could get celebrities to fight celebrity. This is a worth thievery than the Simpsons stealing my idea to catalog all their shit.
Yeah, this is terrible. And the bad thing is, you were talking about that last week.
I swear, we as soon as I saw it, I was like, holy shit, this is what Drake was just talking about.
Yeah, this is bullshit. I'm looking. I'm watching a video of Derek Carr squatting a log. He would kill Stephen A. Smith. Watch this.
You know how I know he will? He's a professional athlete. That's the Derek Carr guy?
Yeah, he'd hurt him.
That looks like Tom Hardy
That's
in
not
some
Derek
kind
Carr.
of movie.
No, it's got to be Derek Carr. He posted it himself.
So
he said it's squat day.
That means him.
That
Could be
cannot
some random guy
That
squatting.
dude has a gun on his leg.
Yeah, that's Derek Carr.
That dude was
Drake.
scary.
It's squat day.
Drake,
He's in
I could
military
tweet
fatigues.
squat day and look at a gif of Arnold Schwarzenegger, put that out.
Hey, you were sending us pictures of
Time
someone's
out. Why
squat
did-
day today, and it
How
wasn't
does
you.
Stephen A. open up as a favorite?
He buys 130 favorite. I don't know. I don't make the odds, man.
That's-
Wait a second. What
it's-
can I get? What can I get Derek Carr at?
Minus 110.
Oh, so they're both minus because they don't know what the hell's going to happen.
No, because
I'll tell you what's happening.
if they fucking
The
fight,
professional athlete's gonna rip the reporter's head off. I'm telling you right now.
Dude, that would be great.
Stephen A. is a journalist.
Yeah,
My 3-year-old could beat up Stephen A.
well, he is 6'1".
Hey, bigger they are,
Harder they fall. Man, that's awesome. Stephen A's 51. 51.
51.
Why in the hell would he open up as a favorite?
Vegas is.
That's what they want.
This is the.
Could
most,
you imagine fighting whenever you're 51? Even if it's just an NFL quarterback.
Unless it's my daughter's. I gotta fuck some dude up.
Yeah, but if they're past middle school, like you're gonna be in trouble.
I'll tell you right now. I hope I'm not having to fight anyone at 51.
No, it's not gonna be pretty. Dude, Stephen A., Derek Carr, I need that in my life. I called it last week.
You did. You did.
Would that not sell though? And I think I
Shitload.
used Skip Bayless and Stephen A. as one of my examples.
You did.
God,
You called it, then.
I need to get into business.
You do. You do.
You need to just get like $1 billion and come up with that idea. 'Cause for $1 billion, you can make that happen.
Yeah, I know, and I could make my money back.
That's no
Do you have people go? Like, let's say you have $1 billion, you set that up. Wink, wink. Billionaires, open your ears.
Yes.
If you have $1 billion, you're just like, hey, guys, want to fight? And you charge $20 for it. Do you know people are going to pay $20 to watch Stephen A. Smith get his ass beat?
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of people.
Yeah.
And do you know how much money you can pay Stephen A. Smith? Enough.
Time out. Which fight would you be most likely to pay $20 for, okay? Skip Bayless versus Stephen A. Smith, okay? Or Stephen A. Smith versus Derek Carr, or Derek Lewis versus Stephen A. Smith.
Derek Lewis for Stephen A. Smith.
Dude,
That's right, Derek Lewis. I don't care who you said that. That's what I would say.
dude, we could seriously just make it. We could get a fight series of just basically sacrificial
Hold on.
lambs.
You use Skip Bayless as an example. Even Derek Carr may not have any fighting experience, and then you throw the Black Beast out there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, would people be more entertained just watching sacrificial lambs come out and just get dominated? I think they would.
Probably so.
I think they would.
So. Probably so.
That's sick. We live in a sick society.
As Sinbad said, this is a sick world we live in.
Well, I think I like it.
Yeah, I'm down. I'll pay 20.
All right, so next week we'll have fights to break down.
Yeah, there'll be Marlon Moraes and shit, I forgot the other dude's name. We'll have some fights.
Yeah, we will have some fights. And anything else before we wrap this bad boy up?
The Bellator cards this weekend. It's on Paramount. Aaron Pico's fighting. There's actually a pro wrestler. I forgot his real name. He goes by Jack Swagger. He's on that card. A big Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy, AJ Agazarm, I think is how you say his name's on there. Got some few fights. That Jack Swagger guy, he is a pro wrestler. I think this is his very first fight, but from what I understand, I think he wrestled at the University of Ohio State. So chances are he's an actual badass that went into pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So, but they're free on Paramount Network. You don't have to have the DAZN app. So
all right.
Check them out.
Yeah, I definitely will be. I got to see Ryan Bader cap it off, beat Fedor. And on that note, for Drake, for Mr. Shackelford, and Leighton C., as always, Dippers, stay saucy.